Hi guys, my name is Iana and I want to welcome you to my kitchen. Today I'm just going to be making some sourdough focaccia bread. That's really easy, pretty good. I love it. My husband loves it and it's just really simple. And yeah, I'm just going to share with you me making it, and I'll share the recipe too. It's from a blog called Homestead and Chill. I'm following it kind of. So I've already prepared the dough. I don't quite follow their like ingredients to a key, kind of. I just do a little bit less water and a little bit different variations of the flour. But for the most part, I follow their directions and everything. I think it's a great recipe. I've done this recipe a handful of times now. This is probably like my fourth or fifth time making it, and so far I've had really good success with it. But I did have one sucky one, but I think it was just because like I was rushing and like not really taking my time. But when I do put in the effort to like take the time, it's pretty great, and that's what I love about sourdough. And I'm excited to share with you how it goes. I'm gonna do my first stretch and fold pretty soon, but I have made the dough, and I will say that I did a little bit less starter, a little bit less water than it calls for, and I did switch up the flour. So I did about like 150 grams of starter, and I just fed it this morning at like 7, and then I mixed the dough at like around 11:15. And then I put, it calls for 450 grams of flour, but I think it says like 50 whole wheat, but I did like 75 grams of whole wheat, and the rest was all purpose. And then I did about like 340 grams of water, and it calls for 350 to 400. I feel like my doughs aren't as thirsty as like maybe if they were like in other altitudes. I did 9 grams of salt, I did a tablespoon of olive oil, and I'll share the toppings and show you what it looks like when we get there. But yeah, the dough was perfect for the first mix, and I'm gonna stretch and fold it soon, and I'm gonna share with you how to do that. But yeah, I'm excited. And sourdough is just super cool. That's why I wanted to start making videos, because I find that it's pretty therapeutic, it's pretty easy to make, it's not challenging at all whatsoever. I think probably the hardest part is finding time to bake and do stuff. Oops, but I've made like sourdough cinnamon rolls, bread a lot, pancakes, crackers, all this stuff. That's really delicious. And I mean, the whole reason I started even like making bread and stuff was, well, I really wanted to for quite a while. I had a roommate in Italy who was super duper cool. Her name's Esty, and she, like, I watched her do the whole process of like making a starter and just figuring out how to make bread. And like, we didn't have like, it was like a handful of girls. We lived in all lived in the same flat. We didn't have like all the stuff. We were missionaries, so we didn't have like all the equipment and tools you needed, but she got by and she made fantastic bread. And I feel like it just was like the first like ding ding. And I mean, I love food, I love to cook, and I'm just like here to share all my ideas and experiences and what I do, and hopefully make it seem less intimidating for people. Or even if you just are like that YouTube, or that person that goes on YouTube to just like watch vids, which is what I do, to just like relax and chill, especially baking and cooking videos. Oh my gosh, yes, I do that all the time. So here I am to add to the mix. But yeah, in about 3 minutes, I'll do my first stretch and fold, and I'll share that with you now. Okay, So I'm gonna do the first stretch and fold with you guys. So I have this cloth cover and some cling wrap. Make sure to save that. I'm gonna smell it. It smells great. This is what it looks like. I've only done the mix and I'm just gonna do the first stretch and fold right now. Looks great. Okay, so first I'm gonna wet my hands because I don't want to touch it. Because it's pretty sticky. Yeah, and I hope you can see. I'm gonna try my best to show you. So the idea is that you like stretch and fold. It makes the dough stronger. There's a stretch and a fold. Dough's a little watery. Stretch and fold. And you do this for like 4 or 5 times and just keep turning the bowl and bringing the dough from under over, and yeah, this just helps the dough get stronger. And yeah, that looks good. So I just did the whole, turn the whole bowl, stretch and fold it over, and I'm gonna do it like three more sets in half an hour apart. So I did just mix the dough, the initial mix. I just did that about half an hour ago. This is my first stretch and fold, and then I'll do another one in another half hour or so.
So in this section, I have already done the stretches and folds, 4 sets, all half an hour apart. And then I greased my pan and let the dough just hang out for like another hour or so in the bowl before I transferred it into the oiled pan. So I put just a few tablespoons of olive oil so it doesn't stick, and it helps it get really crispy by the time it needs to bake. And here I'm just pouring some filtered water over a tea towel. That's what I like to do to cover the dough while it's in the pan to help it stay moist and not dry out at all. And yeah, and then you'll get another view of the dough. It's really bubbly, and yeah, I'm excited to show you what it looks like after I dress it up with some veggies and some flaky salt and some oil. It's gonna look really good and taste good too. Okay guys, this is what it looks like after it's rested in the pan for about an hour and a half or 2. I think my starter was just really lively today, so it sped the process up quite a bit, and it's been a little toasty in my apartment, so I think that helped also. So yeah, so now I'm just gonna make sure that most of the dough is spread out into the corners, and you could just use some oil to help spread the dough. And I topped it with assortments of things, mushrooms, red onion, chopped garlic, rosemary, chili flakes, artichoke, and flaky salt. I love flaky salt. Just focaccia with flaky salt is the best, by the way. And also with some more olive oil. And then after you're done topping it up with whatever you'd like, I just dimple it. So I dip my fingers in some olive oil and just like literally use all 10 of my fingers to press into the dough. And you'll see me do that in just a sec. And then you just put it into a preheated 450 degree oven and you bake it for like 25 minutes or so. You want to make sure that you check on it halfway through so that it doesn't burn. And if it does, you could just put, or if it looks like it's burning, just put a cookie sheet over it. It kind of helps prevent it from burning and toasting up too much. And then once it's done, I got to show you the finished product, and it turned out really good actually, so yay!
Okay guys, here it is. It looks really pretty, cooked really well, and I did about like 27 minutes with this one. It's still hot. I want it to cool off before I cut it, but yeah, once it's baked, I just say cool it off a little bit, let some steam and air release, for about 10 minutes, I would say at least, and then slice it up and serve it. And we're gonna have it with some sun-dried tomato, and I also have some prosciutto and burrata, like I've said before. And I'm really excited, but I also want to say thank you for watching my video if you take the time to do it. But yeah, thanks. See you soon.